Guys, I actually don't know what to say. This is a new low. This is honestly a new low. Today is a new low. It's a low that I've never felt as a United fan. This is Erik ten Hag's Watford performance. Like, fuck this shit. Excuse my language. But big up to everyone, man. First and foremost, I hope you've all had a wonderful day up until 8 p.m. today. I hope you've all had a good day. I had a good day. Spent time with some family. But this is really a new low. And just before I was going live, I was just watching the post-match comments. Christian Eriksen, Erik ten Hag. We are in the. This isn't even the mud. I can't even say United are in the mud. I can't even say like United are in the mud. This is not the mud is even better than what United should be in. The mud is, and that's mud. That's mud. Like, this is probably the worst. I'm not kidding, guys. This is the worst. There's no one that can tell me that there is nothing worse than this. What this is. You cannot tell me there is, like, I'm not going to sit here and insult players. I'm not going to sit here and insult the manager. You guys know that's not my kind of thing. But we are done. Like, if Erik ten Hag is, I think he knows. Bro was down the tunnel immediately. He was in the tunnel straight away. Didn't go to the fans, traveling fans on a Monday night, bank holiday. Yeah. This is poor. This is so bad. Like, I'm lost. I'm lost for, like, I have no words. I have no words to possibly describe today. I have no words to possibly describe what the season has been, what the season 81 goals conceded in all competitions with still 4 games to go. 81. Are we going to get to that 90 mark? Are we really, really, really going to get to that 90 mark? We've lost a record number, and not a record number, most losses in the Premier League under Erik ten Hag in 13, with still 3 games to go. 81 goals, guys. Like, I don't think we are really deep in the circumstances. I don't think we're really deep in it. And you know what is actually has pissed me off? Excuse my language, guys. Erik ten Hag post-match. We're gonna start with that. Christian Eriksen said, "We just had an off day." Christian Eriksen said we just had an off day and we weren't in it. If this is what you call an off day, what has been the rest of the season? If this is what we are calling an off day, today is not an off day. This is not a one-off. We've conceded under Erik ten Hag, we've conceded 4 or more goals multiple times. This season, off of my dome, off of the top of my head, I can think of multiple times we've conceded 4 goals. I can think of that. Erik ten Hag said it's clear we underperformed. We should have kept fighting like the fans did. Shout out to the away fans, man. Shout out to the away fans. He went on to say there are reasons. Everyone has seen our backline, but we have to deal with it. Eriksen said we tried to do what we could do, but we were not good enough. We have to take the blame. It's just a load of words. I don't really want to read into it too much. I honestly don't want to spend too much even reading about it. There is nothing to break down about this game. There's no tactical breakdown. I don't know how we have seen the same issue with the midfield. Why a lone 6 of Kobbie Mainoo against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park? I'm going to get to Mateta. I'm going to get to Casemiro. I'm going to get to Eze. I'm going to get to all of them, guys. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Join the membership club if you want. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges. You get your emojis. You get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of this channel. This is a new low. Like, honestly, guys, I'm not kidding. This is genuinely a new low for Manchester United in the last decade. I don't think it's been bad. Like, people are genuinely going to tell me it was this under Rangnick. It was this under Oli. This is Ten Hag's Watford. Watford away under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is the equivalent. I actually think this is actually worse because United couldn't even get on the flipping score sheet. They couldn't even score a goal. We had to cry for a penalty. That wasn't even a penalty. He actually fell. He got fouled on the edge of the box, but that still wasn't given. But we couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything in possession. Casemiro. I am guys. Shout out to all my Kenyans. Shout out to all my East Africans. Shout out to my Kenyans. I'm so sorry that I said Casemiro should be in the Kenyan league because he shouldn't even be there. He shouldn't even be in the Kenyan league. That's being too polite. I think that's being too polite. That's being a bit too nice, saying that he should be in the Kenyan league. He should. San Marino are bantering United, saying, "Can we play you guys next?" San Marino. Have they even ever won a game in their international record? I honestly, I couldn't tell you. This is actually a new low, guys. My brain can't function. My brain can't function right now, and when I see Marcel, I'm gonna have to slide tackle him because he's saying trust the process, guys. Marcel's saying trust the process. Marcel said, he tweeted saying trust the process. There's no process to be trusted. There's no process to be trusted. United's on life support. Pull the plug. Pull the plug. We are in ICU right now. Pull the plug. Just let it die. Just let it die. 3 more games plus FA Cup final. I don't even want to think about that. Because this is a Crystal Palace manager coming in, doing a good job with the players at his disposal. This is the same Crystal Palace that looked like they were going to be in a relegation scrap a couple months back under Roy Hodgson. And he's come in and he's got them playing ball. Elise balling out. Sky Sports talking to him after the game. They said, could you have had a hat trick? And he was like, yeah, I could have. I should have. Can you imagine that? Can you actually imagine that? This season is, without a doubt, I'm going to be dead honest, guys, and I don't know if you lot agree, this is the worst. This is the worst United have been. 81 goals, we're not deep in it. Wallahi, I don't think we're deep in it enough to understand the levels of, I can't even say abnormality. Is this an abnormality? Is it really an abnormality to be 81 goals conceded in all competitions? Holding 3, conceding 3 against Coventry, 4 against Bayern, 4 against Palace. It could have been 5. It could have been 5. The woodwork saved us. Casemiro, done for. He's done. And Erik ten Hag, I genuinely think Erik ten Hag knows his time is coming to an end. Erik ten Hag knows his time is coming to an end because there is no possible way anybody can believe in this that he's building. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's always an ultimatum of, if he loses this game, he's sacked, and then United win it. But the cracks were there. The cracks have been there. The cracks continue to be there. Defensively, United are one of the worst in the Premier League. Only Luton are worse than us when it comes to expected goals conceded, shots on goal. Wallahi, today, guys, I'm not joking. I genuinely can't. They said we had 2 shots on target. Where the hell did those shots come from? Because I don't remember it. I don't know why Anthony started. But the thing is, I can't even single out everyone because we stunk completely. Across every player smelt. They stunk. They had a bad odour following them around the pitch. And you know what? I said this going into the game. Crystal Palace would be up for it because United have no confidence. And today, United look like what they've looked like over the last couple months, across the actual season, what we've looked like over the season. A team low on confidence. It takes 1 goal for the floodgates just to open. And I said this, bro. I said this in December. I said, I don't know how I can't see this getting any better. I said at the beginning of the season, after Spurs game, second game of the season, I said, guys, strap in, put your seatbelts on, because this is going to be a bumpy season. But even I didn't anticipate it would be this bad. It's been a bunch of lows, no highs. Probably the only high of the season. How sad this is that we beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. Probably that's genuinely the only high I could think of. Let me know what you lot think is one high, one positive from the entire season. Positives from this game, absolutely none. The only positive from this game is that United are just 1 game closer to seeing out the season. It's as simple as that. Today, I actually wanted to stop watching the game. I was laughing. I was watching it with my family. I was just laughing. Because if you don't laugh, you are genuinely going to cry. And that's how I feel. Big up to Austin, been a member for 4 months. Says 4 months in, and guys, I have no words. Please just drop a like and join, man. You lot heard Austin, man. Big up to Ed, been a member for 2 months. Says most losses in a season and first ever Crystal Palace double. I said it this earlier in today's stream. I said Palace have never done the double over United in the Premier League. They could do it this season. I thought maybe a draw. How naive of me to think that maybe these players would give a performance. How naive of me to think that Erik ten Hag might be pragmatic and set up the team in a defensive way, because you got nothing. You have nothing to lose defensively. Just park the flipping bus, bro. Hit people on the counter. I don't care if it's against Palace. That would have been better to see than this. We are a joke. We are the laughing stock. We are a laughing stock right now. Another record broken for this quality United squad and manager. They should have had 6. Big up to Aminor, been a member for 5 months. Says, Mina, now I understand why you didn't go to UVHQ. You know what? It wasn't even intentional, guys, but I'm actually glad I didn't. It wasn't intentional. I accidentally double booked myself. It was my niece's birthday. But I'm glad I didn't go, because I would have walked off. I actually would have walked off at 3-0. I would have took off my mic and gone home. Big up to Aminor with the super chat. Appreciate the support. Says, Minna, please ask Marcel what the F is your baseline to realise Erik ten Hag is not the manager for us. I'm looking to sell my Arsenal tickets. Any offers? Anybody want a ticket for the Arsenal game next Sunday? Holla at Aminor, man. I'm sure a lot of people are not looking forward to that game at all. I want to hear you lot's thoughts, so please let me know in the comments. Jamie Carragher is ripping in to Casemiro on Sky. He is ripping in. I think Casemiro should know himself tonight that he should only have another 3 games left at the top level, MLS or Saudi. I'm dead serious. He went on to say this is one of the most poorly coached teams in the Premier League, and that is not an opinion. That is a fact. And you know what? I 100% agree with him. This is easily the worst Manchester United coached team. This team ain't coached. Let's be real with ourselves. This is not a team that is coached even remotely well enough. And I don't want the excuses. I don't want the excuses. You do not go to Selhurst Park and hold 4 in such a poor fashion, where it could have been 5, it could have been 6, it could have maybe even been 7. You are professional footballers of a high level, Premier League quality. Let's be real. Starting lineup today, Onana in goal. Johnny Evans, by the way, reportedly, Johnny Evans failed a fitness test before the game, but United needed him and he played. He got spun by Mateta. Wallahi, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Casemiro was on the floor probably more times than challenges won. He got, I think, dribble past 8 times, which is a record in the Premier League this season. Casemiro was on the floor more times than probably tackles won. Every time Casemiro was trying to put in a challenge, or maybe trying to get the ball out, anything he was trying to do, I was shook. Elise, second goal, great strike. Onana, what are we going to do with you, bro? What are we going to do with you, Onana? Like, I can't even sit here, by the way, guys, and just genuinely, like, analyze the game, because I don't think it's worth tactically analyzing. But one thing I will say about this season, and in this game in particular, but every game this season, it has been so obvious. It's been so obvious that this midfield, vacating the midfield, was never going to work. It didn't work against the Wolves on the first game of the season. Didn't work against Spurs in the second game of the season. You're telling me we're 35 games in and we're still playing with an open midfield? Kobe Mainoo left to sink or swim today. He didn't even have a good game. A lone six. Explain that to me. How could you possibly do that? How can Erik ten Hag continue with this philosophy? You say you care about possession and you want to make United a team that's good in possession, but yet you don't care for the midfield. Threaded passes all over the place. Can I just say, Elise's first goal, guys, he picked up the ball from near enough to the center circle. He picked up the ball from a throw-in. He managed to score from a throw-in from picking up the ball near the center circle. Not one challenge in sight. Not one tackle. Nobody going to him. Everybody's staying off him. Letting him shoot. Is like come on. Let's genuinely like comprehend what's going on here. let's genuinely comprehend what, like, let's try and, there's no point trying to make sense of this because this is chaos. This is chaos. You can't make sense of chaos. You can't do that. But how can you just allow him to dribble and take a shot? He managed to he skipped past one player, dribbled pretty much about a third of the pitch before looking up, picking his spot, taking a shot. Onana beat twice by Elise. Twice. Tyreek Mitchell on the score sheet. Mateta looking like R9. All he's missing is the little hairpiece here. Looking like prime R9. Crystal Palace is proof of a well-coached team. Bournemouth this season, proof of a well-coached team. Coventry this season, proof of a well-coached team. United are not a coached team. I can't even say a well-coached team. They're not a coached team, full stop. Full stop. They are not a coached team. I don't know what the instructions are. I don't know. You cannot blame this entirely on injuries. You can't do that. You can't blame it entirely on injuries. Okay, you don't have your starting 11, or maybe you don't have your starting backline, but half of the starting 11 today was your players. Half of the starting 11 was players that you brought in. Rasmus Højlund, can I say? Rasmus Højlund, for me, he's a young player. He needs to develop. He has flaws in his game. Today, simple hold up, he could not do. He could not do against the back three. He couldn't do it. Anthony, I don't even know why the fuck he's starting. Excuse my language, guys. I don't like to swear, but I genuinely do not know why on earth Anthony was starting. I said it before the game. Don't know what Ahmed has to do to start, but at this point, we sound like broken records. There's no point dwelling on it. There's really no point dwelling on it. Erik ten Hag don't like him. It is what it is. It is what it is. Garnacho, for me, isolated today. Nobody can string a pass together. No one can get a pass together. And even when we did have possession, we weren't going to do nothing with it. Crystal Palace were happy to have United, to allow United to have possession when they did, because they didn't feel threatened at all. 80th minute, 4-0 up. They didn't even take the foot off the gas. They were going for a fifth. Hit the post. Onana, again, no man's land, bro. That Onana and that near post, I think he hates the near post. You know, I think he's got a fear of his near post. He's scared of it. Because even the way that he dives is so unconvincing. And I said it earlier in the season. I did feel like he improved at some points during the season, but then he just reverted back to the madness that he does, which is just unconvincing as a goalkeeper. It really is unconvincing. Johnny Evans, I generally thought going into the game, he might be our most appropriate player for the game because he'd be most experienced. He got spun, he got left for dust. Mateta, one little heavy touch, bam, gone with the win. Blasted it into Onana's near post. Onana didn't stand a chance, and that was a half-hearted dive from him. It was a very, very half-hearted dive. But this is my issue with this season. Throughout the entire season, we've been talking about injuries. Oh, you know, backline this, backline that. Bruno Fernandes misses his first game ever due to injury. Erik ten Hag has run him into the ground. Scott McTominay out injured. Marcus Rashford out injured. Eriksen looked like he's injured. Bro looks like he's injured. Let's be real. Eriksen should not have started today in that midfield. If Erik ten Hag was serious about just having a solid midfield, he would have just played Amrabat alongside Kobe. Instead, leaving Kobe out to dry as a lone six. For what reason? To hold 4 at Selhurst Park. To hold 4 against Crystal Palace. To have one of... By the way, guys, all we've had is embarrassing defeats in the City of London this season. We've had embarrassing defeats in the City of London. Like, right now, my tone is I have a very mellow tone. I have a very monotone when I'm speaking because I genuinely I'm so done. I'm so, like, this is a new low. Like, and I kept saying to everybody, guys, if you don't laugh, we will cry. So it's better for you to just laugh. Otherwise, you will actually, you will actually cry after today's result. I want to see, let me see what the chat is saying. At this rate it's going, it could have to it could have to. Katie Zellum also at the rate Skinner's playing her, no matter if she's the skipper or not. United women have the same fucking problem too, man. Don't get me started on them. But again, excuse my language, please. I don't really want to be swearing. Hoyland isn't a striker. You don't see Wheatley wrestling anyone and managed to get the ball and run at defenders. 100%. I agree. Reaper says, I am literally terrified for the rest of the season. Why? Don't be terrified for the rest of the season. We know what our level is this season. Why are you scared? Why are you scared? It can't get worse than this, guys. The only thing that can get worse is if we hold 5 to Arsenal and then we hold 6 to City in a cup final. That will be probably, like, for me, it shouldn't even get to that, because can I say sacking Erik ten Hag will not change the course of the season. It's not going to change where our season's going. Our season is going to shit. It's been shit. It will be shit. It will continue to be shit. It's going to end shit. Sacking Erik ten Hag will not change that course of the path that United are going down. But you know what it will do? It will set the standard that this is not acceptable. Because I don't think this is. I genuinely do not think this shouldn't be acceptable. And why are we accepting it? This is not even mediocre. If I was to describe this as mediocre, this is an insult to the term mediocre. If you are understanding me. This is an insult to mediocre, because this is not even mediocre anymore. It's not even embarrassing anymore. Like, I've lost, and maybe I need to bring out a thesaurus, because I have no more words to describe what today's performance how to sum it up. I can't say it's embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing. I can't say it's mediocre. It's beyond mediocre. It is the worst of the worst. Erik ten Hag has to, probably this season is the worst. It's the worst season since Alex Ferguson. Let's put it like that. And I'm gonna be told, Erik ten Hag had injuries, 60 plus. Bro, 60 plus injuries is not the reason why you're holding 4 at Selhurst Park. That is not the reason. That is not the reason. Injuries is not the reason why your philosophy and your style of football is not working. That is not the reason. That is a cop-out. To blame everything on injuries is a cop-out. Because what you're telling me today would have been different if Rashford was playing, or if Bruno was playing, or if Lisandro Martinez was playing. What could you tell me would have gone differently? And I'm asking it genuine, based on the course of the season and how it's been. This is a team so low on confidence that they can't even win second chances. They can't win their first chances in duels. They can't win second. United were second to everything. First chance, second chance, third chance, fourth chance, battling for anything. United were second. United weren't even second, they were third, because Palace would go for it. If Palace don't win it, they go for it again. They don't win it, maybe United win it on the third time. Let's put it like that. Let's honestly put it like that. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. Late night vibes, man. I was really questioning it if I wanted to do this, but this, for me, is just everything is a cop-out. Every excuse I hear is a cop-out. This is a new low. This is the lowest of the low. This is the lowest of the low. There is nothing lower than this in the last decade post Sir Alex Ferguson, and I am being dead ass. I'm not talking about today's game. I'm talking about the entire season. It was embarrassing enough, that UCL campaign. That Champions League campaign was a fucking joke. Excuse my language, but that Champions League campaign was a joke. Yeah, one game, in an entire Champions League campaign, rock bottom of the table. 4 conceded against Bayern. I can't even remember how much we conceded against Copenhagen and Galatasaray, because it was that bad. It was that bad. United should have pulled the plug then. And I said after Bayern Munich, the final Bayern Munich game, when United crashed out in December, I said this is done. Erik ten Hag's progress, all of that shit is done. But we were told to trust the process. Things are going to get better. Players are going to return from injury. Structure is going to come in. Structure is not changing the outcome on the pitch right now. The only thing it's changing is the person in the dugout and the players on the pitch. It's not going to change the performances. They're not going to change the style. This team has not been coached good enough. And I say this time and time again, if you are so dependent on one player for your style and your philosophy to be implemented, then that is a weak philosophy. That is a weak philosophy. Let me repeat that one more time. If Erik ten Hag heavily relies on a left-footed centre-back to change the course of his philosophy, because that's the key ingredient, that's bullshit. That is a weak philosophy, and that will not survive. It will not survive in the Premier League. And if you suggest 1 6 and 2 10s in the Premier League, when you don't have the 6 that's capable of doing that, you're not playing to the strengths of the player that you're playing in the 6. Because let's be real, Kobbie Mainoo is not a 6. He is not a 6. He's definitely not a lone 6. And if you are going to play him as a lone 6, you are playing to his weaknesses, which is drawing him out against well-coached teams. And this is not the first season. This is not the first game, this season that we've seen whoever play in the 6 sink. It's not the first. We've seen it time and time again. First game of the season, I said it wasn't going to work. Wolves. United had their best starting lineup then, even though United won 1-0. I think it was Varane scored a late header. Even though Erik ten Hag had his strongest lineup then, it was obvious that Casemiro or whoever was the lone 6, Mount and Bruno as the 2 10s or the 2 8s playing advanced was not going to work. We said it when Mount came in. Can I just say, bro, by the way, Mason Mount for 60 million, please, someone call the Financial Conduct Authority, because I would like to report fraud. I would like to report fraud, because spending 60 million on Mason Mount is actual next levels of fraud. Even African governments are not that corrupt. Even that is next level. This is next levels of corruption. I'm being dead on. And this is no fault on Mason Mount, because I don't think he's had a fair run of chances this season to really show his value. But we could have done without him. Him today and without him makes no difference. The difference is that 60 million that Erik ten Hag spent on him, or Manchester United spent on him. That is the difference in everything. Let me go through the comments, man. I've been said Mason Mount was not worth that money. Man wasn't that good at Chelsea. You know what it is? It's like, yo, why my African government catching strays? Shout out to all my Africans, man. I'm African too, guys. We come from, you know, the stereotype of African governments, man. But they are nothing compared to that Mason Mount deal. That is nothing compared to that Mason Mount deal. Onana, 60 million. Højlund, 70 million. Anthony, however much that guy cost. Don't even get me started. There is not one player that the manager has brought that I think that we have gotten their value over the last 2 years. There is not one player that I think we've gotten our values worth. And that says a lot. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. Gay didn't start for Palace today. They seemed pretty okay without him. Look at that. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? You're missing a defender and you can play well? Goddamn. The players still look lost during the match. These squads need proper coaching, drilling these players so that they know how to position themselves, pass, build up properly. Ten Hag can't do it. I saw Wan-Bissaka today, yeah. There was a chance. It didn't lead to a goal, but there was a chance. Bro, we had Nathaniel Klein looking like Marcelo. Nathaniel Klein. Do you guys know who Nathaniel Klein is, please? I'm just typing away at my keyboard because I need to show you guys. Do you guys know who Nathaniel Klein is? I need to show you guys this. Forget even Liverpool reject. This guy was on Love and Hip Hop. Bro, this guy was on Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop. A reality TV. We had Nathaniel Klein looking like prime Marcelo. Getting up and down that fullback. Getting up and down that wing-back position. A guy who was on Love and Flipping Hip Hop. A reality TV show. A reality TV show. They didn't even know who the hell he was on the TV show. They didn't even know who the hell he was at the time when he was on that show. We had him looking like prime Marcelo. There was a time during the game, and this is where I say Wan-Bissaka's flaws show the most. This is where Wan-Bissaka's flaws show the most, yeah? Casemiro or somebody was telling Wan-Bissaka where to go, and that is his biggest flaw, his positioning. He was so tucked in that there was acres of space on the right-hand side. There was acres of space on Crystal Palace's side. Wallahi, like I could have went there and set up a table and had some dinner if I wanted to, because of the amount of space that they were given to him. It literally, Oh my God, Minna, the Ivory Coast manager would do better. Guys, I got a level 1 and a level 2 FA coaching qualification. I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. I could do better. I'm not even joking. And this is no respect to Erik ten Hag. And this is why I will say I think Erik ten Hag is a good coach, but he's not Man United. He can't get something out of these guys. These guys will get sold. They are part of the audit. The INEOS audit that we are talking about so much, they will be part of it. They will be, the decisions will be made on them this summer. But there is no way we can continue. You know what I said today when I was watching the game? I would sack Ten Hag tomorrow, because we are showing that this is it. I don't care if the season's ended. I don't care if the season's ended. I don't care. There's nothing left to fight for. There's nothing left to fight for. Sack him. Sack him. Sack him. Play the youngsters for the next 3 games. Let the youngsters walk out at Old Trafford against Arsenal. Let the youngsters have a nice little away day to Brighton on the last day of the season. Well, I just start the academy kids. Put all the senior players on the bench. Just put all the senior players on the bench. Even Onana. The guy was. You can't trust the guy with a high top. You can't trust a grown man with a high top. I say this all the time. And no disrespect to Andre Onana. He backs himself all the time. But similar to like Marcus Rashford backing himself, if you're going to back yourself, you need to, if you're going to walk the walk, you need to talk. If you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. And he's not doing it. He is not doing it. Casemiro with the armband today was actually embarrassing. Well, that was embarrassing. You should have just given it to Kobbie Mainoo. Just give it to the youngster. Because that was not a leader's performance today. His head was in the ground half of the game. He was on the floor for 90% of the game. I lost count how many times he got spun. I really lost count of how many times he got spun today. Let me see any post-match comments, because you lot know I'm about to lose it. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. If you want to join the membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You'll get your badges, you get emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel. It's been a lot, guys. This is my debut year on my own channel. Yeah, it's first season on my own channel. I don't deserve this. I thought, let me take me back to July 2023 when I was contemplating to start a channel. By the way, it took me about three and a half years to actually start my channel. Yeah, little backstory. It took me 3.5 years to actually start my channel, because I was never confident in myself in starting a channel, being on the internet, all of that kind of stuff. I thought last summer, this is the year. I'm going to do it. It's going to be a good season under United. It's going to be some great content. I just want to cancel. I want to delete my channel. Because this is genuinely a new low. This is genuinely a new low. You know me, man. I bring the vibes. I'm in a good mood. Today, I cannot. It's not often I'm lost for words. Maybe that's the best way to describe this, how I'm feeling. I'm not going to sit here swearing up and down, effing and blinding. Brentford was lower. Nah, this is low. This is the lowest of the lows. This is the lowest of the lows under Erik ten Hag. Brentford was bad. 4-0 against Brentford away. It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. But it was Erik ten Hag's first season. This is now the end of his second season, and we've gone back to what we looked like when he first came in. And people say he hasn't had the surroundings around him to succeed. He hasn't had the foundations to succeed. You don't need foundations to get a good coaching performance out of your players. You don't need that. You don't need to do that. You don't need foundations to get that. This cannot be blamed on Ed Woodward, Richard Arnold, Murto. It can't. 450 million into this project, and there is not one player under Erik ten Hag that I can say has been a bright spark for 2 seasons. There's not one person I can say that. And we talk about this injury stuff, by the way. We talk about this injury stuff all the time, but nobody is talking about what is the root cause of the injuries. Is it the intensity of the training? What they're doing in training? Is it that intensity? What is going on for players so regularly to get non-contact injuries? Players are not being... Lisandro Martinez came back against Brentford. No contact, got an injury. Wan-Bissaka earlier in the season when he was injured. Non-contact injury. Multiple muscle injuries. I think that the topic of injuries is used to mask the reality of the situation. And the reality is that we're crap. We're shit. Off the pitch, on the pitch, around the pitch, everything is done. These men don't even have a clean flipping training facilities. They don't. How can we expect players to come out and play good, have good performances on the pitches? Yeah. When Sir Jim Ratcliffe has basically said the training ground stinks of shit because these men are not clean. They're dirty people. They're messy people. Like, I know there's no correlation between it, but what are we expecting at that point? What like, that was actually a funny article that I read. I think it was like 2 days ago. The state of the training ground, the state of the dressing rooms, the senior dressing rooms, the academy dressing rooms. That is normality for Manchester United. That is normality. And back to this injury thing, because like I said, Johnny Evans failed a pre-game fitness test. There's no way he said this. There's no way he said this. There's no way he said this. Can't be real. It can't be real. He can't be. This guy's not real. Erik ten Hag is not a real person. He's not a real person. Erik ten Hag is not a real person. Erik ten Hag said this is the 4th defeat in this calendar year, so that's not a lot. And every time we had huge problems. Oh my God. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I seek refuge in Allah from such gaslighting and such nonsense. I see. Ilahi wayna wahida. Ya Allah. Oh my God. No. Nah. No, but this is the thing. How is this okay to say this stuff? Like, why? You know what? I said this time and time again throughout the season, yeah? I've really said it time and time again. I will respect Erik ten Hag. There's a thing in my language. I will respect him and have my hand up for him. Yeah. If he came out after today's game and said, I'm, these boys, I'm very disappointed in them, but this is on me. I didn't set them up properly. This is what happened in midfield, blah, blah, blah. But there is no way that Erik ten Hag said this. Please, someone find out. If he said this on MUTV, yeah, get me in a boxing ring with him. Get me in a boxing ring with him. That's the thing. I want to see. Normally they say where they got the quote from. By the way, I trust United District because they always accurately quote and report what has been said post-match. The way that it normally works is Erik ten Hag will speak to the broadcaster that has the right. So it'll be Sky straight after the game. Then he'll talk to MUTV. And then he will talk to the media in the press conference. So this has either come from the media in the press conference, or this has come from MUTV. It's likely, because there's no quotation at the end of it to say where it came from, this is likely something that he has said in the press conference after the game. He has said, this is the 4th defeat in this calendar year. So oh my God. I can't even bring myself to read the full sentence, guys. I'm not kidding, but I actually cannot bring myself to read the full sentence. This is the 4th defeat in this calendar year, so that's not a lot. And every time we had huge problems. I actually couldn't believe it. I just went to go see if there was any. I like to read from. Most of the time, I go to Andy Mitten or Carl Anker for stuff that's said in the press conference. I'm gonna bring it up 100%. Let me find it, because why do I do this every time? China has hacked the Ministry of Defense, says Sky News. Was Andre Onana in goal for them? Was Andre Onana in goal for the Ministry of Defense? Because how the hell are they getting hacked by China? That is so random. Let me see what the post-match presser is saying. Apparently, okay, Carl Anker is reporting that it was a short press conference after the match with Erik ten Hag, who said Man United players did not follow the script going into the game. What's the script? It must be a dead script. That script must be dead. That must be a completely dead script. That must be the worst. And you know what's so funny? Jean-Claude Blanc and Jason Wilcox were at the game today. I don't know what they saw. I generally do not know what they saw, but there's no way they are thinking tomorrow morning this is a problem for tomorrow morning. It's not a problem for tomorrow morning. This is a problem for now. This is a problem for now. I want to find exactly yeah, I ain't seeing much of his press conference. Must have been dead. Let me see what Marcel's saying, guys. Should we read what Marcel's saying? Well, I have Marcel, man. Marcel, man. Marcel, man. Marcel, man. I'm gonna put this on the big screen. Shout out to my guy Marcel, man. That's bro right there. That's bro right there. Relax, everyone. Let the season end. Ten Hag will turn it around next season. These players are criminals. Don't let this rattle you. Oh, Marcel. Well, I don't ever change. You not think I'm kidding, but Marcel always been like, that's my guy. Well, like, Marcel's my guy. He's saying don't let it rattle you. That's by saying don't let it rattle you, that's rattling everyone. That is rattling everyone. That is the funniest thing. He's I can't. Well, I can't. Oh, Marcel. Come on, Marcel. Come on, Marcel. Let's see what else he's saying, man. You know what? Because if I don't do this, guys, I'm actually gonna cry. Like, I need a little bit of a laugh. Stay calm, everyone. Trust the process. We are exposing the lack of quality. It's okay. Ineos needs to see this so they know what type of players to go for in the summer. Oh my days. Oh my god. I can't. I don't know what's worse. Erik ten Hag post-match comments or Marcel's post-match comments. I couldn't say what's worse. Wallahi. Like I genuinely do not know what is worse. Big up Scottish Jason says, can you see United finishing above anyone they are below this season? Well, let's have a look. Because we are the laughing stock of the league right now. And the reason why I say that is not even because of today's result, but the fact that Chelsea are now above us. Excuse me, Chelsea are now above United. The same Chelsea that we've been bantering for the last 2 seasons. United mathematically cannot finish any better than David Moyes did. Erik ten Hag, in his second season, cannot finish. And guys, David Moyes was sacked for this. Are we keeping that in mind? Are we actually keeping that in mind? David Moyes was sacked for finishing lower in the table on the lowest points tally post Sir Alex Ferguson. Ten Hag's about to break that. In the process of that UCL campaign. I genuinely don't think we are deeping enough what the magnitude of the season and how bad it's been. David Moyes was sacked for the worst Marcel Tick minute X. I hear it, man. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, man. And that's why I say everyone is always entitled to their opinion, man. I always welcome different, like, you know, this is a free space, guys. I like to hear what people have to say. I always like what to hear people's thoughts. I just don't know, like, guys, 81 goals conceded, and we still got 4 games to go in the season. including the FA Cup. Newcastle put how much past Burnley on the weekend? We still need to play Arsenal, who are scoring at one of their better rates this season. They have the highest goal difference in the league. They're scoring at a high rate. They put 6 past West Ham. We still have to play Brighton. And then, on top of all of that, we have to wrap it all up by playing Man City in the FA Cup, where Haaland just scored 4 goals on the weekend by himself. What? Just where's the white flag? Just throw in the white towel. Just go to Wembley and just throw in the white towel. Because if they perform the way that they did today, that would be an embarrassment. That would be probably the most ridiculous way to wrap up this season, is if they hold 3, 4, 5, 6 against City. That will be the most ridiculous end to the season. Like, are we going to see minus double digits goal difference? We could. We absolutely could. West Ham have a minus double digit goal difference. Bournemouth, 10th, have a double digit minus goal difference. By the way, guys, let's have a look at the table, because I want to put this into perspective for you guys. Big up to Ridwan, been a member for 4 months. Ten Hag signed Højlund, Anthony, promoted Garnacho and Meno, signed Mount, Ericsson, Evans, Casemiro, Onana, and gave Dalot a new contract. Ten Hag ? Ten Hag wants to take credit for the academy players for bringing them through. So he should also accept when he's failed them. And the last couple months he has failed them. He's like, it's as simple as that. He has failed them over the last couple months. We can sit here, guys, and rant and rave about how these players are crap and they're not good enough and they got weak mentality. But Ten Hag brought them. Amrabat, he brought him. He brought Amrabat not even to start him when the midfield is thinning. Imagine that. Ten Hag's stubbornness, and this is why I say Eric Ten Hag, I said this months ago, I said Eric Ten Hag's stubbornness is going to get him sacked, because he's adamant he has to force these players to try this style that he wants to do. I couldn't tell you with my own eyes what this style of football is. What is the Eric Ten Hag style of football? What is it? United have been shit for the best part of 15 months. The best part of 15 months, United have been shit. There has been no style of football in those 15 months. We winged it at the end of last season. We were just we were churning out results just to finish in the top 4. And I think, I'll be honest, I think Eric Ten Hag knows his time at United is done. I think he knows he's not surviving next season. I think his camp is putting out stories about Bayern Munich jobs and how he's got 2 or 3 other jobs of interest available to him. I think he knows that this is the end. He knows it. And his stubbornness is what has led him to this. Because he could have just said, until I get the midfielder I want, until I get the extra centre-backs I want, I cannot play the way I want to play. And I think a lot of people would have accepted that. Because football, like it or not, football is about results. It's about 3 points. It might not be about how you get the 3 points. It might not be about where you get the 3 points. It's not about when you get the 3 points. It's just about getting 3 points. That's it. It's about getting results, especially in the latter stages of the season. We laugh at Spurs for their capitulation, but they are in the growing part of their process. I hate the term fucking process. I actually hate that term. But they are in that beginning, the teething phases of it. United, we're not far off from capitulating last season. It's just the other teams around us couldn't capitalize that United managed to scrape out that 3rd place finish. Eric Ten Hag 5 years from now is going to say it was a miracle that I finished 3rd with that Manchester United team. The same way that Jose Mourinho said it was a miracle finish 2nd with that Manchester United team. Eric Ten Hag, I think, knows what he got himself into, and in the journey of it, over the last 7-8 months, things did not get better. And I remember saying, Galatasaray at home, things have to get better, because if it gets worse, Eric Ten Hag is done for. I remember Cam's, shout out to Cam's from FCM, from DR Sports, all of that stuff. I remember him saying that Ten Hag won't make it to January. This was back in like November, October, and he got cooked. Ten Hag did make it to January, but I only think it's a circumstantial reason why he made it to January, because that is when the new ownership came in, and he didn't really have the opportunity to get sacked or anything, because they themselves were just coming in. They can't come in straight away and put their foot down. They allowed it to be a situation where they're going to assess it. But things were not getting better. Wigan just about beat them 2-0 in January. Newport County 4-2. Newport flipping County 4-2. Drew to Spurs. February comes. We're beating teams like Luton 1-0. And people are saying to me how I was quick to jump on the Eric Ten Hag criticism because we were getting 2, 3, 4 results in February. Reality slapped United in the face against Fulham. Reality slapped us in the face. It was, again, just painting over the cracks. Because that's what a lot of the wins this season has been. 16 wins this season. Let's look at the table, guys. Let's assess the table and see where you think United's going to play in it. Let's look at the table. Come. This is what the table's looking like. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in so you lot can have a better look at it. Let me not even... Yeah. This is what the table's looking like. United still got 3 games left. Where United finishing? Genuine question. Where do you see Manchester United finishing this season? West Ham are 5 points off us. This is just hypotheticals, guys. If United lose every game here on out, and West Ham somehow win their games, and forget West Ham, Bournemouth somehow win their games, United finish 10th. If all the teams in and around us, and this is the thing, this is all dependent on if, buts, maybes. Chelsea are in a better form right now. Chelsea are in a much better form. Look at this. Look at this. 1 win in the last 6 if we're including today's game. That's why I say this is a new low. This is a new low. I've been a Man United fan for about the best part of 21 years, I'll say 21 years I've been a Manchester United fan. This is probably the worst I remember it, because I was lucky enough to grow up in the era where United were dominating. But even post Sir Alex Ferguson, this is the worst. And this is off the back of 2 summer transfer windows, a 100 million euro signing, a 70 million signing, 2 70 million signings, a 60 million signing, 50 million signing. This is off the back of 400 million plus spent in 2 summer transfers. And you're telling me United could mathematically finish 10th. They could finish 9th. Fuck it, they could finish 8th. If that is not a low, if that is not the worst post Alex Ferguson season, I don't know what is. And that's just, like, I don't want to hear about if we possibly finish it with an FA Cup final. Because that does not change how I feel about the season. Because the season is based off 60 plus games across all competitions. It's not based off of 5 games in an FA Cup run. It's not based off that. We beat Wigan, we beat Newport. We just about beat Nottingham Forest in February, guys, in the FA Cup. Do you guys remember that? We just about beat them 1-0. Casemiro scored. We celebrated that because that was the best we were getting against them. A winner against Liverpool from Amad Diallo. And then, obviously, a penalty shootout against Coventry. The FA Cup, a win, even, and that's just, again, hypothetical, because I don't think we're going to win it. But even if United do win it, that does not change what this season has been. Shambolic is not even a description. I don't think shambolic is a description for this season. I said it earlier. I don't think mediocre is. I don't think embarrassing is. I think we've passed all those stages already. I think we've passed all of that. For me, the Champions League, that Champions League run, I cannot fathom how Eric Ten Hag continued with what he was doing across the last 5 months after that Champions League run. I would have just shut up shop and just parked the bus every single game. You saw in the Champions League, because Champions League, we were blaming it on the players. We were blaming it on Onana. We were saying the players are bottle jobs. We had a 2-goal lead against Copenhagen. Onana putting the ball in the back of his net multiple times in the Champions League. We blamed everything on the players. Yet the same players, 5-6 games, have been able, 5-6 months, have been able to continue to have those opportunities to play. They've been allowed to do that. Whose fault is that? That's the manager's fault. I don't give a shit about injuries. Because like I said earlier, these injuries that everybody is talking about, that the manager so heavily emphasizes on all the time, they don't just come out of nowhere. You don't just wake up one morning as a football player, you get out of bed and you wake up injured. That, it just doesn't, it's not a miracle. It's not a miracle injury. It don't just happen out of the blue. It doesn't happen for no reason. It just doesn't happen. 60+ injuries does not just happen. Something is wrong there with the injury issues. Something is wrong there. And for so long in the season, and especially over the last 3-4 months, it's been heavily emphasized that the reason why United are playing the way that they are is because of injuries. So let's get to the root of the problem, which clearly apparently is injuries. Apparently injuries is the root of the problem, because it was convincing games in the first 2 games of the season against Wolves and Tottenham when Erik ten Hag had his starting 11, right? It was convincing. A 1-0 win against Wolves. We got slapped up by Spurs. That was convincing, right? No, it fucking wasn't. Excuse my language. But it wasn't. It was not convincing. Somebody just hear it. West Ham got Luton at home. Bournemouth got Brentford at home. This weekend, United could be 10th. You know what the worst thing is? Yeah, like, I have to film. I'm filming a preview tomorrow for the Arsenal game, bro. I don't even want to film that. I don't even want to film that because I can't even shamelessly say with my chest, yeah, we got something for Arsenal. After today, if United had maybe like 2-1 loss, maybe a 1-1 draw against Palace today, I could have maybe been shameless enough to be like, we got something for Arsenal. But if we perform anywhere near to today's game, it's going to be a crucified performance. It's going to be a crucified scoreline. And Arsenal, by the way, are out for blood because they are in a title race. They are in a title race. Every point counts for them. And that's the thing. When they have everything to fight for, and we really haven't, we have nothing left to fight for. We don't even have dignity and pride to fight for anymore. The players don't care about the badge. And that's why I say Erik ten Hag, I think he knows. This is why it says in the title of this video, Erik ten Hag's Watford defeat. This, to me, is worse than Watford against Ollie. Against Watford with Ollie, sorry. Where that was basically, the writing was on the wall after that game. Inevitably, that P45 was hitting his letterbox that morning. Today's result is much, much, much worse than that. Much worse than that, because it's the manner of the defeat. It's the way that United lost. I don't think anybody, for me, I could say, tried. Like, and that's honest. That is no criticism to like Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo, to me, looked like he was hung out to dry. Like, he was hung out to dry. Young academy kid, first year in the Premier League. You're hanging him out to dry as a number 6. You don't care. As a manager, you don't care about the midfield. And the midfield issues have been there throughout the season. Like, this is nothing. It's nothing really new. I don't want to see no player posting a picture. I don't want to see them saying, thank you guys. Shut up. The lot of you, just be quiet. Just be quiet. I want to see what Crystal Palace, Chris Richards was speaking after the game. And he said, it's always good winning at home, especially with a shutout 4-0. It doesn't get much better. It's always nice to score 4, but we could have had more. And that shows the potential that we've got a good team. It's the fact that the opponent beat you 4-0 and they are all coming out. Elise saying he should have had a hat-trick. Chris Richards saying we could have had more, because he's right. They could have. They really, really could have had more. Easily, without a doubt. they could have had more. It could have been 5. That post actually saves us. Heard Kobe is getting it on Twitter. Why? Why is Kobe getting it on Twitter? And that's the thing. That's why I'm saying Erik ten Hag has hung his players out to dry as well. Like, he has hung his... Well, I had this Mason Mount picture of him, Mason Mount smiling before the game. It's actually embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. This was pre-game. You know, Monday Night Football, they always do their little analysis, and this is why I said I didn't want to see. This is why I said I didn't. Oh shit! This is why I said I didn't want United to be playing Monday Night Football, because you know they'd be doing this. Bro, this is embarrassing. This is actually embarrassing. This was before the game as well. This was before the game. Defensive records in 2024. Yeah, because Erik ten Hag likes to talk about the calendar year. He said this is only our 4th loss of the calendar year. United are have one of the worst defensive records in the same calendar year that Erik ten Hag is talking about. One of the worst, the highest, and this is what I don't understand. Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Erik ten Hag, a couple games back, last month I think it was, he was asked about the shots faced, and he said it wasn't a cause for concern. It wasn't anything to be worried about. Surprise, surprise, the teams who face the least number of shots concede the least number of expected goals. Surprise! What? Wow, that is the biggest revelation of my entire life. Arsenal, lowest number of shots faced, lowest expected goals. Man City, second lowest number of shots faced, second number of lowest expected goals. Revelation. Like, it's as if we've been talking about nonsense throughout the entire season when we've been talking about the shots faced being an issue. It's like we were just ranting for the sake of it and complaining for the sake of it. Manchester United defensively this season, because let's be honest, especially in the last 6 months or the last 5-6 months, Manchester United have had a defensive record of a relegation level team. Luton, Sheffield is not even as bad. Burnley is not even as bad. Luton is technically not as bad. United have the same level of a team in a relegation scrap or a championship level team. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock. Oh my god, like this is really therapy at this point. Lowest number of shots faced also usually means control against opposition, which is true. The top teams like Arsenal and City are controllers. DualShock FC. That is like a big revelation. Somebody needs to send that in an email to Erik ten Hag. Someone send it in an email to Erik ten Hag, because it's like it's a big revelation. And like I mentioned, it's been confirmed. Johnny Evans failed a fitness test this morning, but Erik ten Hag reportedly asked him to still play, which he did. Erik ten Hag was asked after the game, do you still believe you can turn this team around? He said, I will keep fighting. I prepared the team in the best way I could. I don't know if that's him insinuating that these players that these players are not capable and that he's done his job. I don't know if that's him insinuating that the players are just crap. I don't know if he's insinuating that the game plan was written and it was there, but the players couldn't do it. I really don't know what he's actually insinuating, if I'm being honest. I really don't know what he could possibly be insinuating. I really want to know what KG's thoughts are. I really want to know what KG thinks. I hope he does a stream later on. Let me just reply to this message. That final against City could be a landslide. It would have been better if Coventry had won. Does anybody actually want to watch the FA Cup final? Like, honestly. Word to Rantman, there is no passion. There is no vision. There is no Aggression, facts. There's nothing. But the thing is like there's none even from the manager. And I said it like months back. I remember it was a loss. I can't remember what loss it was. And I got berated by the United View lot in the studio. But I was saying like Erik ten Hag on the touchline looks like the most underwhelming manager. Like as a player, they're looking at the touchline and even he's looking uninspired. He's looking uninspired. It's like he knows he can't get nothing out of these guys. But I feel like once players can feel it, I feel like once players are able to see that the manager can't even, doesn't have faith in them, these men are done for. These men are completely done for. I mean, how many times do you reckon Eric has asked players to play through injury? Now you heard about Evans, root causes coming out. I think Bruno's been playing through injury apparently for the last 12 months. I've said it. I said Marcus Rashford looks like, and someone said I was just defending him, but I said months ago, I think it was after the Forest game, I said this guy looked like he's been playing through injury. Probably everyone's been playing through injury. Rasmus Højlund, he's been playing through injury. I think Garnacho there was a time when Garnacho didn't train all week and then he started on the weekend. Garnacho definitely is playing through injury. Everyone's probably playing through injury. But why is the injuries at the level that they are right now? That's what I want to know. Because we talk about how high the injury count is. But like I said, you don't just wake up one morning and just get an injury. You might do if you're me, because I'm not an athlete. Sometimes I get a cramp in my leg. And sometimes, I feel like I convince myself when I do like a long walk, like I go on a 1 hour walk or whatever, I convince myself I tore my ACL. But I ain't a fucking footballer. Footballers don't just wake up injured. And by the way, I want to see how many of those injuries are non-contact injuries. Because I can name a few just from this season. In-game. Players, no contact, getting injured. And I think it could be down to the intensity of the training sessions. I don't even know what they do in training. I would love to know what they do in training. I always said this. I would love to be on a fly on the wall of Carrington because I want to know what these men do at training. I want to know what they're doing under Erik ten Hag. I want to know what they're doing under Benny McCarthy and all these guys. Because, can I say, week after week, United have come out this season looking like a team that ain't trained all week. They look like it. There was times where we were coming up against teams who had played midweek and we've had a whole week break and we look like the team who played midweek because we look tired. We look fatigued. 20 minutes FC, that's what we've been calling ourselves. 20 minutes FC because we played good for the first 20 minutes. Today, we didn't even get that. At least that's one thing that you can be happy about. Or, do you get what I mean? Like, after a game, we'll be like, yeah, but the first 20 minutes. Today, we can't even say that. Like, it's the play style. It could be. No other team has half their team injured. It's got to be the fitness coaches. I actually really want to see what they did during training now. Like, what the hell is going on? 100%. I really want to know. I want to know what's changed compared to last season. Has the training been modified? Because man, we're getting injured in pre-season. And this is, by the way, this season is the same season that people are saying let's rush players back from injury. Of course, you're gonna have a flipping injury crisis when you're rushing players back. I genuinely think, yeah, guys, I might be of the small minority, yeah. If you have regular injuries, or you've had regular injuries or reoccurring different type of injuries over the last 8 months, don't rush yourself back. Even if the manager is there on his knees begging you to play, don't do it because you're only going to hinder the team even more. There is no one I've ever seen that's not fit that played well in an injury. Like, there's no one. I haven't seen anyone do that over the last decade for Manchester United. So just save yourself and try get, like, your motivation should not be to come back from injury quickly. Your motivation should be to come back fully fit. Don't take shortcuts. There's no shortcuts in life. And that's applicable to everything. There's no shortcuts in life. So don't take a shortcut to come back to the season quickly because you're only going to hinder your team even more, when you get another injury. Lisandro Martinez is a good example of that. Came back from injury multiple times this season. And I felt like sometimes it was rushed. Just to get injured, run into the ground. Luke Shaw came back from injury, run into the ground. Forget his injury record. Forget his injury record for a second. He came back from an injury, being out for 3 months. He played 6 games in a row, 90 minutes. How the hell do you do that to someone who's just come back from injury? How do you do that? That's desperation. That is desperation. And I was saying it back in December. I was saying Erik ten Hag is desperate for his starting 11, or for the players that he feels like he can rely on and can play well and are technically good players. He's desperate for them to come back to salvage something from the season. But there was nothing to salvage. We've been talking about top 4 for the last 5-6 months. Get that out of your flipping heads. I said that back in February. I said, get top 4 out of your heads because it's just going to get worse. When I saw that United couldn't get 15 out of 15 points in February, in a run of games where we were playing teams in the lower half of the table, when we couldn't get 15 points out of 15, that's when the season was done for me. There was nothing else to fight for. There was really nothing else to fight for. We got 3 games right now left. Play the kids. Play the academy kids. Let Wheatley play. Let Harry Emas play. Let Ahmad play. Just let them play. Just let the youngers play. Because they cannot be worse than what we are seeing game in, game out. They cannot be any worse than what we saw today. I don't think it could be possibly. I don't think it's humanly possible. 5 things we learned after the game? Absolutely nothing. I'm not going to do 5 things we learned after the game because we didn't learn shit. Actually, we didn't learn shit. Everything that happened, we've been knowing. Everything that happened, we've been knowing. Player ratings after the game, everyone gets a 0. There's nobody that gets a 1. Everybody gets a 0. The only people that get a 10 is the away fans. That's it. Erik ten Hag gets a 0. His coaching staff gets a 0. His players get a 0. Onana gets a 0. Johnny Evans, I feel bad because he's probably definitely injured. Poor guy is fucking, how old is he? Bloody hell. Still gets a 0. Casemiro gets a 0. Dalot gets a 0. Wan-Bissaka gets a 0. Amrabat, 0. Guilty by association. Rasmus Højlund, 0. Anthony, he doesn't even get a rating. How about that? Amrabat doesn't even... Anthony doesn't even deserve a rating. Dead guy. Eriksen, 0. Mason Mount, 0. Who else am I missing? Garnacho, 0. Everybody gets a 0. I don't care about any. Ahmad, 0. Guilty by association. I don't care about what you did when you came on. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Even though I actually feel bad for Ahmad. Like I feel bad for Amad Diallo in the instance that what more can he possibly do to play? I don't think there is anything more Ahmad can do to play. I think Erik ten Hag has made it very clear. He does not want to use him. He prefers Anthony. He maybe doesn't think Ahmad is good enough. Erik ten Hag doesn't like technical players. He doesn't like players that excel in a possession-based team, because Erik ten Hag is not building a possession-based team. Erik ten Hag wants runners. He wants people that can run a 10K. If you want people that can run he wants people that can run the 10,000 meters. If you want them players, then go flipping sign Mo Farah. Go flipping sign all of them athletes, them marathon runners in the Olympics. Go scouting at the Olympics this year in Paris. Jump on the Eurostar, go to Paris, and go scout at the athletics for them long distance runners. Because that's what he wants. He wants players that can just run up and down the pitch like a flipping donkey. Go and sign that. Amad Diallo for me, should leave. Because there's no point on him waiting for another manager to come in and then having to be assessed again. Don't waste your time. Just leave. Jadon Sancho, leave. Half of these players, I think, by the way, I don't know how realistic it is for a lot of these players to be sold this season. But most of the starting 11 today was Erik ten Hag's players. You lot might want to deny that. You lot might want to say, oh, but, he wouldn't have played them if there weren't injuries. Well, he would have played Lisandro Martinez. That's his player. He would have played him. Dalot, new contract. United brought in on Johnny Evans, whether or not Erik ten Hag would have had to okay it. Onana, his goalkeeper. Mason Mount, the prodigy his midfield maestro, number 7 wearing player. That's his guy. Rasmus Højlund, his guy. Anthony, his guy. Eriksen, his guy. Garnacho, the kid that he likes to take credit for, bringing him from the academy to the first team. If you take credit, then you take the criticism too. Kobbie Mainoo, the kid that you like to take credit for. The kid that you like to take credit for, bringing him to the first team. That was starting 11 today. You failed them. They failed you. They failed the badge. The players failed the badge. And Erik ten Hag failed the players. And all of that failed the fans. Guys, we're 3 likes away from 100. Hit the like button on your way out. Big up to everyone. We'll be back tomorrow with a 4 p.m. stream. Hopefully it's a Comunicado official, and we're talking about Erik ten Hag handing in his resignation, and he's accepted that he can't do this anymore. Because Newcastle, Arsenal, Brighton, City, yeah, it's looking long. It's looking long. It's nearly midnight here. 10 minutes off midnight here in the UK. I'm going to go to sleep and just drown in my sorrows. Bro, guys, you know this season is effing with my mind when I'm having dreams about Manchester United. Bro, the other night, guys, I'm not joking. I had a dream, and I think I was like beefing Ten Hag in a dream. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, we need to get rid of Ten Hag, man. He's nothing like Pep. Hit the like button on your way out, man. You guys know what it is. We'll be back tomorrow. We got a preview. I'm recording a special episode with a very special person ahead of the Arsenal game. That will be out on Thursday. And then what else? We'll be back tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Should I do a Champions League watch along tomorrow? Is it Champions League tomorrow, guys? I think it is. Yeah, it is Champions League. Dortmund versus PSG. Do a watch along for that maybe. But yeah, we're 3 likes off 100, guys. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button on your way out. I hope to see a lot of you lot for tomorrow's stream, 4 p.m. UK time. Turn on your post notifications, so when I go live, you will get notified, man. YouTube algorithm be messing around lately, so turn on your post notifications so when I go live, you lot will get notified. Hopefully we'll have a bit to talk about, and hopefully we wake up to some news tomorrow. You lot know what it is, man. I'm out. Peace.